Hey guys, and welcome back to another kind of plugin review. Today we are looking at another Audio Assault plugin, and this time it is the aIR Impulse Loader. So this is basically an impulse loader. It's very kind of simple in concept, but it has some really cool features. Now, what's cool about this is it's not really so much a modeler as it is a kind of workshop to get your IRs, whether the ones that are included, which is only a few, or mainly for third-party IRs, and Audio Assault do sell plenty of IRs, to blend them, to kind of form them, to get them to a certain kind of way you want, and then you can export them, which is one of the coolest features. So we're going to just dive right in. I'll show you exactly how it works, what you can do. So at the moment I've got it on this track. Now I think the best way to kind of look at any kind of cabinet is on a kind of dirty sound. That's because with more harmonic content, the cabinet does seem to make more difference, or at least to your ear you can hear it. We'll put on some clean stuff too, but this isn't really so much about the specific sound of the built-in cabinet, so we will go through them. It's more about the features and the tools in this plugin that allow you to kind of really push your IRs to the next level. Okay, so when you open the plugin, you have this blank kind of slate. Now you have this scalability, which is great for me. I use a 1440p monitor, and a lot of plugins are really small or really stretched out and weird because of scaling and all these kinds of things. So just having an actual scalability is straight up great feature. So you're brought with this kind of menu here where you've got your IRs. You can look through the IRs, so these included IRs. I think you also get this halfback pack, which is a bunch of halfbacks, which is really cool. And then you can add your own IRs. So you have default IRs here. Of course, that's the folder. Now, what is really cool with all the kind of IR loaders by Audio Assault is I have this cool kind of home folder situation. So if I click on home, you'll see that I've got this thing called cabinet here. So that is my own folder with all my own cabinets, IRs that I have from all the third parties. Now I've added that using this add folder tool. So what it does, it hyperlinks it to that folder, so you don't have to kind of menu dive. Now I've used a lot of IR loaders, and you often have to go through all your file system, get to that right IR. So you can put all your IRs you want in this front menu in their own folder, or whatever you want to do, kind of thing. It makes it a bit easy to organize. You also have presets that make it easier for you to be able to do that. And then you have this button here, which is export IR, and I think that is the coolest thing, because basically if you create an IR by blending a bunch of different IRs together using all the tools included, which we'll talk about in a second, then you can export that IR and maybe use that in your kind of line 6 amp and your Kemper. You can just use that straight up without having to mess with the preset. It saves a bit of resources as well, just loading one IR instead of like the multiple ones you're blending, all that kind of thing. It's just a great feature to have within a plugin. So what are the modules? So this is the next section, is modules, and this is where you get down and dirty with the aIR Impulse and really where the power stands. So the main module you use is the IR module. And so you drag that in and you have whatever IR you want. But you can drag in multiple. Now this is really good if you've got some of the more extensive IR packs, because they often have each mic on each speaker in a different position. So then you can really treat it as mixing multiple mics as you would do in the studio. That way, let's say you have a 57 on the cone, another 57 on the edge of the cone that you want to blend with a 121 and a condenser mic back in the room. Very easy to do. You just drag them in. And we will do that with some own hammer cabs, because my own hammer cabs do have those kind of options, and it's really cool. You have this unit impulse, which I'm still not completely sure what it's for. It does a thing. It kind of does the opposite. It kind of gets rid of the impulse, which is interesting. I'm not exactly sure. And then you have a bunch of EQs, which is great. So if you've got an aIR pretty good and then you want to add this API style EQ, you can add just a little bit of that frequency there. We'll look at doing that as well. You also have a high shelf and low shelf. Now, focus is really cool. It kind of does what it says. It gives focus. It's kind of this frequency dependent thing. You have a phase delay. Now, this is really awesome because you can use these phase delays. So they're basically really, really short delays that affect the phase to actually emulate a cab. Now, this is the kind of older way you'd emulate a cab before we had the processing power to deal with aIRs. And you create all the notches and such that you would get from a real cabinet, because a real cabinet kind of creates its sound. A lot of it comes from the speakers, but a lot of it also comes from reflections within the cabinet, and all the reflections creating kind of nulls and peaks with that signal in real time, like, in space. So you can use the delay to kind of emulate that along with filters and stuff, which is really cool. So if you want to go down that path, that's the really kind of nerdy path. You've got a volume and pan, which is great. You've got just a filter with low, high, and high pass, so that's kind of much more basic, basic kind of thing. You've compared to the shelves. And the coolest thing is the visualizer. So if you stick the visualizer in there, it actually gives you the frequency response curve of whatever you've got going on. And that'll be what the aIR you export if you want to export it. Now, you don't have to export it. I should point that out. You don't have to export the aIR. It's just a feature it has. So this is really great. So you can see what you're kind of doing, which is really cool. And then you have a normalizer, which means that as you kind of change the gain, it tries to normalize it. And this can be a little bit dangerous because if you go down too much, it kind of boosts the signal up, but it's very good to have. So let's just start off with the basics. Grab an aIR, grab one of the stock aIRs. Oh yeah, the one that comes with it, Avenger. Have a listen, and I'll kind of show the features of the main section, which is the aIR loader, and then we'll start putting stuff together. So what I've done is kind of looped this dirty guitar here. I'm actually using Sigma. So Sigma is another Audio Assault plugin, so we're using that as the dirty tone. So I just think it's a good idea to show, with a kind of emulated amp, especially one from the same company. It's just kind of easy to do that. But a lot of the time I'm using my actual stereo tone for high gain tones. But let's just loop it a little bit and mess around with these features, and we'll just talk about, the basic features here. So this is the Avenger cab straight up. You've got, the main thing is in mix control is pretty much the volume. Now you have this cool thing here, which is like this parallel series thing. What's interesting is you can use that to run multiple in series. You generally want to keep it in parallel mode because you want to mix different aIRs. You don't want to stack them. You have a phase switch, which works obviously when you've got multiple units going. You've got high and low pass filters. Now you've got a delay, which helps with slightly out of sync different aIRs to match them up in phase. Obviously by itself you're not going to hear that. And a pan control. So let's grab the visualizer so we can see what's going on. So you can see here, and we'll grab the normalizer too. I'm going to turn it down a bit because we're going to blow our ears out. We're going to keep it running, and so I'm going to grab another aIR, and we'll grab another one that's included. Let's just choose another 412 Modern Monster. So if we turn this one off, you can hear what Modern Monster's doing, and turn Avenger on, and you're blending them together. So this is Avenger by itself, Modern Monster by itself. They have kind of different things going on, and you can look at that frequency response and kind of see what's going on there. And if you use the delay, obviously, I think these are minimum phase transformed, which means they will be in phase, but you can create weird phase things here. And that really affects the tone. And obviously you're going to get a flanger sound here as you're kind of comb filtering. So let's say that's your two things. Like I said, we are going to look at Own Hammer and actually doing more of a kind of studio look at it. We've got two different cabs here. And say, you want to change the high end a little bit. Maybe a bit more air. A bit more focus. And you want to, oh, no. So we keep looking at this visualizer, and we want to add a little bit of, we want to get rid of that kind of little harsh little peak. Let's see where that is, right here. And we can add another one, I believe. We can add multiple bands. So we want kind of more of a mid-range cut. So straight away we've got something here. So if we turn it all off, you can hear what we originally had. So that's just the Avenger by itself. Now with blending them, with adding all these you've got a different tone straight away. And then if you like that, we can go here into the export IR, and then you can choose what you want. So we're running at 48, stereo or mono, depends on what your equipment is. Same with the bit rate. I'd probably go this, and then you export it and then just choose somewhere. So say I have my IR folder somewhere, impulses here, cabinet, and I've got these. This is my exports, let's say. So we go air impulse IR1, and we save it there. And then if I want to load that up, so now what we can do is instead load it up. So if I got rid of everything, let's just save it as a preset first so we can come back to it. So we come here and we can just save a preset and just call it IR1, whatever you want. So that is our preset. So let's just remove everything, and then we use it, as you notice here, when you want to kind of remove everything, I think you have to double click it. It can be annoying, so probably what I'd recommend is you just have an save a preset, which is a patch. So this is what we originally had, and let's grab another IR module and grab our so we go here and we have air impulse 1. So then we can compare the two as we had them. So I'll start with Avenger as we had it. And then air impulse 1. So what's really cool there is then you can use that IR anywhere you want. I think what we should do is first, let's just go through some of the stock IRs just so you can have a listen. I'm just going to keep that loop going, so I'll turn this off. We'll have some of the stock IRs just so you know what you're getting with the actual pack. But like I said, the power comes into using your own IRs. Big Fat 212. Big Fat Grinder 212. Blues 212. Crazed. Well, that's a real dark one. Crazy. Similar. I assume these are stock. They might be ones that are coming from something else just because they don't appear like the rest. So maybe ignore these. They might have been something I created. Dirty 212. Fat and Loud. Fat German. Glass 212. Glass 412. Locked 112. Mag 15 412. Modern Monster. Warranty 412. Sharp 412. These, I'm not sure if I think these are mine as well, Testo, but the Modern 412, let's go that, and Thrasher 412. So they're included, although you also get these included, which are cool. They're kind of ones you mix together. We won't go through each of them because it's a lot, but it's really cool. They're based on the Mesa thing, so you can kind of go speaker mics and you can mix a bunch of stuff together, which I think maybe that's what we'll do next. But so far you can hear, you've got very different cabs that come with it. The other thing is you can grab the CK Cabs teaser pack. If you have a look here, there's also going to be a review on that too, but that is free. And I believe at this point, if you get the CK Cabs teaser pack, you get this for $4. That's how much I paid for it. $4 US. I did forget to mention that, I think. Yeah, $4 US for this plugin. That's freaking amazing. Especially seeing you can load so many. So if I go home and go to Cabinet and CK Cabs and the teaser pack, like I said, go check out the review for that as well. But you've got a bunch that you can get for free as well. And there's plenty of free IRs on the market. So next what we're going to do is actually show a real-time thing of blending mics as you would in the studio. So what we've got here is the halfbacks that come with a halfback pack. Now this comes with 2 speakers, I believe. It's based off of Mesa. It's got the EVM 12Ls and the Mesa Boogie C90s, which you may be aware of. They're like OEM Mesa speakers. So we're going to blend both the speakers with different mics and room mics. So we're going to start off with the speaker mics on the EVM 12L. So my combination I like is a 1-2-2 is cool. I think we'll go that 1-2-2 in maybe position A and position B of an SM57. So that's the EVM there. Then we'll go the 90 speaker. So this is so it's a 212 basically, and you're miking one speaker with 2 mics, the other speaker with 2 mics. Go the same thing, I think. And then there's a room mic, and there's also blended mics here. So we go to room mic, you've got them individually for each one, which you could do, blend them, but you also can go to the mixture and go to the room mics, which is probably easier. So it depends on what cab pack you've got, but we're just going to do that for easiness. So what do we want? I reckon a room mic of this blend. This is a blend room mic, maybe? Cool. Sounds good. So let's turn them all off, have a listen, and then blend them as I normally would, and then we can add some EQ. So with them off, you're not going to hear anything because of the way they work. So we'll start off with the 1-2-2. What we'll do is add again, we'll add a normalizer and a visualizer, just because it's a really cool reference thing. Okay, so this is the EVM 12L. Let's blend in the 57 on that. I'll take it off. You can hear that 57 is a bit different. Probably a little bit more of that. Cool. Now let's have a look at the C90. Oh, it's a bit thicker. Good, the blend together on them. The 57's got more bite. And then when we blend them all together, it's got more thickness. Let's add more thickness there. And then we can slowly bring in the room. So if we turn all the other mics off, you can hear what the room sounds like by itself. It's very much a room sound. A cool one at that. What I might do is pull these back a little bit, just so we got more room. Toggle that on and off. No room, really up front. Obviously that's great if you want that kind of in-your-face thing, but sometimes you want a little bit of the natural room of the cab, which is really cool. You can see how it changes that there. Now I kind of want to give it a little bit more punch in the mid-range, so let's grab this EQ here. And just clean up the top and bottom a little bit. And maybe a little bit of highs. See, when using this high cut, I'm just gonna add a little bit of highs around that frequency. Oh, actually that thing is up the lows, so a little bit of highs and a little bit of lows. Oh, too much. So again, we've basically put together kind of using that, we've mixed it all together, and you can export it, like I said, save as a preset. So let's save as a preset IR2, and then export it as -44.8 here, IR2. So you can see how quick and easy it is to get a IR sound. Now the last thing I want to do is just show it in the mix. We will use stock IRs on some guitars, and I'll use some own hammers on some others, so you can see what you can do with other stuff. We'll just do it quickly, but kind of show how quickly I can get a sound. So we've got this section. I'm just going to solo the guitars. Let's start with this guitar. I think it's this one. Yep. It's kind of a thick guitar that sits underneath, doesn't need as much cut, so we could add a little bit of high shelf there. I'm just going to cut out some of these lows. Cool, let's move on to the next one, I believe this one. So that had some own hammer cabs on it, but we're going to try some of the built-in cabs for this one, I think, just for a different sound. So add some low pass filter, a bit more mid-range bite, and then take out some of the kind of muddiness maybe. So those two together. Okay, I'm not liking the high end on this one as much. Might bring that down. Better. Cool, let's move on to the next one. So I'm going to use an IR, own hammer IR here. I'm going to choose some slightly different ones, just so we can blend them. We want B30. I'm going to use, we're just going to use two mics here, I reckon. Let's use a SM57 sweet spot here. Yeah, I'm just checking I've got the right one. Just going to trash these for now. And one on the cap, just 257s. Sounds good. Now, moving on to the last one. I'm going to use something from, let's use something from the free pack. Let's blend two things in the free pack. Let's blend. This is the, yeah. This is an AC 30, and then let's put a recto on this one. Oh, no, Mesa stiletto? No, we'll go back to recto. And let's take out some of the but then we're going to add some other mids, so get rid of that, but we want some a bit more upper mids. So now we've created something quite quickly with various different, IRs, mixed them all together. Let's listen to them together. Now they're all a bit too loud, maybe. Turn everything up a little bit.
Silence over as I lie over as I lie down to rest. Silence over as I draw my last breath.
That has basically been the aIR Impulse Loader. In some ways it's a simple plugin. In other ways it has a shit ton of features you can use, and it's so cheap. So if you're ever using IRs, I'd say go get it now. I think its normal price is $7, but go get the Seco Cabs teaser pack, and then it should pop up, at least last time I checked, and you can get it for $4. So go check that out. Go check all the other Audio Assault plugins. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and I will see you next time.